As we make a break on the Bridge 99 FM, when we come back, Danae Peart is a daughter of Jamaican soil. She's in Canada. She's working with so many different media and community organizations. Let's hear her story. Let's be proud of Jamaicans, wherever they are, what they do. Soon come. International Women's Day, Honorable Pearnel Charles and myself on the early rise. This is the Bridge Nation welcoming home Danae Peart from Toronto. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning,
Look at
Ronnie.
you.
Listen, I'm up early for you guys. Good morning, Chief Charles, and good morning, Reverend Thwaites. I'm very happy to join you on the bridge.
Yeah, man.
And you're definitely bridging the gap between Jamaica and us here in the diaspora.
Thanks
very
much
for the welcome home.
Yes, and we wish you happy International Women's Day. We're bigging up all the ladies, and you representing all of the Jamaican women abroad who are the spinal column of the Jamaican nation. Wherever you are, we're grateful for you. We revere you.
Oh man, I mean, what a big hat you're giving me to wear.
I organized him to say it for me because I could never say it as good as that. So I just kick him under the bench and say, Ronnie, bring your Oxford presentation.
Listen to me. You don't know what we face with this man, you know. Danae, tell us your story. Where you come from? How you reach where you reach?
Well, I mean, how much time we have? I am a proud daughter of Jamaica. I was born actually in Andrews Memorial Hospital. I was raised in Kingston 11. And I had, the typical upbringing of a child in those areas. But my family had a commitment to us at least getting an education. And so I took advantage of that commitment and made the best of it, I think.
Where you went to school?
I went to school. I went to Halfway Tree Primary.
Excellent.
And I went to St. Andrew High for girls.
I tell you.
St. Andrew.
Pedigree.
St. Andrew.
Yeah.
And I also did community college at Exed Community College before leaving Jamaica. I worked at Scotiabank in Jamaica as well as a teller.
Look at that.
And then had the opportunity, sometimes there are expos that came to Jamaica with all these schools abroad, showcasing themselves. Yes. And I asked my dad if I could go because I was working in the bank and I didn't really see upward mobility from the role I had. And we went on a long shot because, really, where was the money going to come from for us to study abroad? But went anyway and got accepted to a few schools and chose Canada because I had family members here who've been here for a while. And so that's how the Canada move kind of happened. I got into school and we decided, let's figure it out. So I came on the 5-year plan. Everybody comes to Canada and America on a 5-year plan. And that plan is...
What's the 5-year plan?
The 5-year plan is you get a degree.
5 years.
Yeah, man, we get a degree and we'll go back. And then life happens and bills happen and you stay. And you stay and you stay. And then the next thing you know, it's 20-something years. So I am now 23 years this year in Canada.
What?
Yeah.
What's your? That's fantastic. What's your profession? I gather you have a wide-ranging communications experience and arc of life.
Yes. So I would call myself these days a multi-Hyphenate.
Multi-Hyphenate. Lord, I love that one.
Yes. So I started off wanting to be in media just like you are now. I was a child growing up listening and loving radio and thought I would be in broadcasting. So my first degree is actually in communications and linguistics. And then my second degree, I started to change course a little bit. I did urban studies, thought I'd become an urban planner. And then my master's is in local economic development under the Faculty of Environmental Studies. And so all of those things combined, I still ended up working in media. I ended up running a radio station, changing the org to be a radio station and a social enterprise with my team. I don't do anything solo. And so, we have now Vibe 105 FM is the product of that work. And then I left radio, and I'm now a healthcare administrator. And in my spare time, I do media consulting and cultural curating. So that's why I'm a multi-hyphenate, because I don't have one job.
Whoa, that Pearnel, that's extraordinary. That's a range of, but there's a commonality. There's an expressive element to it, to all of those. All of those things after the hyphen. There's an impression of personality that you bring both to radio, to healthcare administration, to your consultancy.
Yes.
Where's that richness of persona coming from, Danae Peart?
I mean, I would credit my parents. Some people may know my mom passed away, so they may not know my mom. But my mom, Auntie Patricia Peart, passed away when I was young. But she was a part of the Jamaica cultural development.
Okay.
She was a guide to ambassadors when they were in the island. She was a coordinator for festival activities. It is because of her I love Portland, because she ended up working that side of the island a lot.
Yes.
And then my dad, he's an educator. He was a professor at University of the West Indies. His name is Dr. Moses Peart. And so
we know him well.
I'm sure you do.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I'm sure you do. And I was told I look like him, so I thought you guys would have picked up.
My goodness.
Yes.
But that's
you're told that you're a dead stamp.
Something like that.
Yes.
I'm definitely not a jacket. Definitely.
Dead stamp.
Dead stamp.
Yes.
Yeah. So as you can see, the family history, I have a lot of educators in my family. So I end up my leadership style ends up being a coach leader. And I lead from beside. And so that's my family, I would say, that strong history in my family.
But then tell me about Canada, because has Canada been welcoming to an assertive Black woman from Jamaica?
I mean, that's a whole other topic, Ronnie. Canada is very interesting, very slick, I'd say. There is more systemic than overt racism here. And so the challenges we face here have been having hidden enemies. So, you go for a job, you end up getting a panel interview where they bombard you with everything but what the job is about, because they have to find a way to filter you out. There's so many instances here of, people slipping up and it falling on the media's ears, how they speak of Black persons in professions. And then, just inherent blockages to you progressing. I think it explains why I'm a multi-hyphenate, because I keep trying to find a way in and I keep trying to push against the grain, because you'll go into one sector and you don't excel at the level you expect to, and you just have to shift on them again. So, I'm very grateful for my Jamaican upbringing, because it gives you a steely determination that I don't know that I would have had if I was born in Canada.
Yes, but then Canada, despite all of that, Pearnel, Danae, has allowed you, as it did for me in a different context entirely, the option of running a radio station, expressing your views freely, I'm sure. Tell us about Vibe 105. That's an interesting thing, where a person can come from another country and have the capacity to express themselves in a very free way.
Well, the key is always having the education here, because you're not always matriculated to what studies you bring with you as an immigrant. So it's important to study here and understand the systems here, which is what I did. And, I volunteered. In Canada, volunteering is a big deal. A lot of immigrants should know that. It's one way in. It's one way for an organization to see your capacity, and it's a way for others to see your talents and latch on to you, and you find your tribe. And so I wasn't afraid to volunteer, and those volunteer experiences have led me very far. I mean, I'm a board member on multiple boards, and that's a volunteer role, but those roles also bring me into other rooms. And so that I would say is a key, and I found that one key for sure.
Well,
Tell me, your station cater to diaspora, cater to Caribbean.
So our station, well, I'll say my former station.
Yes.
I'm there on their board now. The station caters to the diaspora in content. So it's one of the few stations where you'll hear reggae and soca and hip hop. It's one of the very few stations that has that going on in this diverse city. And we have most of our hosts are Caribbean descent.
Yes.
And then, of course, I was running the station and running the organization that is the umbrella org, which is VX3 Exchange. And the person who took over from me is also Jamaican heritage, Jamaican and Trini heritage. So we're in there. And the station definitely has a respect among the Caribbean folk in Toronto.
Good.
Where a go-to, you can get your interviews and your perspectives and so on. But we skewed younger because we realized that the radio audience, unlike in Jamaica, I would say you guys are still fairly lucky, where radio is still a part of the day-to-day life. Here we contend with the new technology. Podcasts were replacing us. Spotify was replacing us. All of these options were replacing radio in the mind of young persons. And so we tried to skew our content to capture two sets of demographics. So we knew we had people in my age group and older, but we were losing a whole generation to these other platforms. So we've had to modify our approach to make sure that we reach them.
Whoa. Well, I think we all have to do that kind of adaptation at one, sooner or later,
Yes.
I like the distinction. Tell me about the healthcare engagement that you have. I have the impression, Pearnel, you can back me up, that Jamaican healthcare professionals are highly prized, and play crucial roles in the health systems in the United States and in Canada. Is that true?
Yes. Greatly respected.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. When you talk about frontline work, Jamaicans are at the forefront of the work being done. I am in the managerial role in the sector. So I have the ability to hire and I have the ability to influence as best as I can. And so I'm currently co-leading a pair of nurse practitioner-led clinics. Nurse practitioners are advanced nurses who are able to work in the primary care setting, diagnosing and assessing at the level of your family doctor. And it was the concept was a couple decades ago. They realized that they did not have as many family doctors to facilitate care across Canada. And so they had these nurses go back to school, do advanced degrees so that they're able to do all the diagnostics and so on. And so I'm managing that team right now. We have 2 clinics, and that's the work that I'm responsible for in North York.
Afraid to ask you this question, but is there scope for more Jamaican nurses in the Canadian healthcare system? We're anxious for our nurses to do well, Danae, Peart, but we don't want to lose too many of them. What should we be doing?
Oh my goodness, I don't know what to tell you guys, because I've been amazed at how even nurses in the Jamaican system were reticent to take the vaccine there, but upon hearing that there are opportunities abroad, took the vaccine. So that stuff is very scary to me because it means that they're willing to go against their supposed fears of the vaccine to leave Jamaica. My family still lives in Jamaica, and unfortunately, we've had our run-ins with the healthcare sector. And so I can only say that I understand why nurses will want to leave. There was a shortage created here. Some nurses in our systems got stressed out, left the sector. Some nurses were opposed to the vaccination as well and left the sector. So the sector is hiring. But I don't want to say it too loudly because, as you said, you're going to lose talent again.
Yeah, but we ought to be training enough that we can meet the international demand and Pearnel Charles was talking about ambition earlier.
Yes.
And meet people's ambition, which is to have a better life by coming abroad, by doing something, maintaining their contacts with Jamaica, just as you have. And at the same time, enough that would serve our needs here. And I think we're slow in that regard. I consider this interview to be of great importance because it is pointing to a way to provide professional education and advancement that is wide open to us from all that you are saying.
Yes, there are definitely opportunities for sure for all walks of Jamaican, Canadian industries. If people take the time, look online, there are a number of industries that are looking for workers.
Really?
And because you know what the pandemic did, apart from being horrible, the pandemic opened up persons' minds to doing other things, and so they were vacating a lot of industries that they were working in, for long periods. And that has created openings and opportunities for Jamaicans abroad and for Jamaicans in the island as well to seek to get into. I'm affiliated with the Jamaica Canadian Association here.
Yes.
And one of their friends or partners is the Carpenters Association. And the Carpenters Association is doing big work to get apprentices from Jamaica to come up to Canada.
What?
So people should look into that. You should, check out the places I mentioned.
I remember
today.
the Carpenters Union used to have a Jamaican head a few years ago.
He's still there.
One of the big hiring is agriculture.
Well, there you are.
Those are
the seasonal ones. But Danae is telling us about those who can have permanent jobs there.
Yes, well, it's the heavy duty drivers.
Sure.
Advertise every day,
which is really important,
Yeah.
Danae, Peart, you have a big role, You're part of TheBridge. No, seriously, because you're the number of your hyphenations.
Right. Their bridges on their own.
On their own. This is the point I'm making. This is the richness of the connection, and we're so happy to have that interview this morning. Continue to fly the Jamaican flag. Continue to make us proud of people like your good selves, and just ensure that as many opportunities as you can identify, you tell us of. You've done so already this morning. Glad to know you. Proud of you. Happy International Women's Day again, and blessings to you and all of the Jamaicans in Toronto and in Canada.
And please spread our joy to them.
Yes.
Let them know we love them and we appreciate what you have been doing for us.
Even though cola bite you.
Listen now. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. It has indeed been a pleasure just sitting in with you because you are legends for me. And so being able to share space with you this morning has been my privilege. And happy International Women's Day to all the women out there who can be inspiration, who are hard workers. Some are unsung heroes, and we want to say, continue doing the work. You'd be surprised who's noticing.
Yes, and I'm going to tell Dr. Moses Peart, I'm really glad to know his daughter, big daughter, and proud of him too. Danae Peart, thanks so much for being with us. All the best. Good.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. They're on the rise on TheBridge. Danae Peart in Toronto. Dr. Moses Peart, her father, is a well-known university educator. He served as chairman of the Heart Trust during my time, and I'm connected with him through church activities too. Happy to know his daughter, and happy to hear the opportunities that exist for us.
Well, Ronnie, it is there. They've been advertising for it.
Yeah.
They have pulled a lot of our good people away.
So what we do is train more, so. The thing is, instead of grudgeful of them, you go and look what you leave and can't fill the nursing cadre at wherever. Come and train some more now. Why am I not training triple the number of nurses?
Well, let me tell you one.
Tell Nigel now.
Let me tell you one.
Yeah.
I was with Butch Short before he died.
Uh-huh.
And we were having a chat.
Uh-huh.
And he said to me, every hotel that he has gone to in Canada and America, somebody come and hug him up and say, Mr. Stewart, are you help me to come here? You know?
Well, look at that. Because he trains people.
There is not one hotel that one of his chefs or one of his stewardess.
So where the big argument? We have to recognize, as we haven't before, that our people have throughout history have had a migratory element to them, and we do not shake off the dust of our feet. This woman is as authentic Jamaican, yes, although it's 20 odd years she says she did in Canada. Yes, she's relating home as well as she's contributing there. Now, why don't we do this? We surely we have enough intelligence to say if we are investing in your education, you pay it back in the following way, and then you're free to go.
We do a lot of it, you know. Well, let me tell you something. When I was Minister of Labour, I went to Canada.
Uh-huh.
And when I went to Canada, I discovered that Singapore and Mexico had a position in their embassy.
Of course.
For recruiting people from their country for these positions in Canada.
They have sense.
Our embassy did not have that major thing.
You don't have it yet.
Right? So, but we have people looking at the farm workers.
The liaison is one thing.
The
farm worker is a good example of what should be much wider.
So, they in Singapore and Mexico, they travel to these hospitals, factories, everywhere.
I look job for them
How
people.
many do you want?
Yes.
And they send for them.
for the people. So
hold on. They train in Mexico and in Singapore specifically for exporting them.
So why we don't do that? I tell you, the former Minister of Health, Fenton Ferguson, and myself tried to respond to an invitation from President Barack Obama when he came in 2015 to do this, and we had every obstacle. Obama said to us that the Jamaican nurses that he had interacted with were much better than the Mexicans or the Filipinos who were in abundance. Why don't you train and send them to us? We need 500,000 nurses in 20 years. Come on, man.
Did we discuss this on his very program? I remember saying, what the hell are we saying to a child who finished sixth form and don't have anywhere to go?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we take the same high school and do the science that they move from the high school to the university just for training?
Yes.
In other words, the nurses package could go to every high school.
Well, look at that.
For another 2 years. And we have the capacity.
We have the capacity.
We have the people.
Yes.
But they graduate and they have this thing that they have 10 subjects.
And they will tell you.
What? 9 subjects on what?
And they will tell you that we don't have enough nurse educators because the whole of them gone. If I say if you need to import 2 from Cuba and 3 from Nigeria or from wherever, come bring them, because what we need to do is to multiply that natural talent that Danae Peart can. You hear what the lady says? They are hiring now. Yes?
If you're looking at Gleaner right now.
Yes.
You see a big advertisement.
Yes, sir.
Are you a heavy-duty driver? I can use you in Canada.
Yes, sir.
Are you a nurse? Yes. I can use you in Canada.
So what are we doing?
We are not training for that.
So
we are covered by this slave mentality.
Listen to Mr. Charles.
No.
Yes.
We're selling our people.
Yes.
And yet, as they slip out of here, they slip out and get a job.
Yes, sir.
Illegally sometimes.
Sometimes.
They go up on as a visitor.
Yes.
And they get into school.
Sure.
And after they become like this Peart now,
and
we want them to send home big money.
And some
we
of them,
can train them,
right,
and we can send them legally.
So we
to
are
the United
so
States.
on the early rise on the bridge. You see, we're not ordinary, you know, because what we are saying is that the whole focus of Jamaican employment policy of education policy needs to take into strong account the international demand for our skills. Yes,
you have said it. Intellectually correct.
So hold on.
You have to join the practical part of it
therefore,
and go and do it.
So therefore, I would love, and we're going to find a way to have a discussion. How can we make this an intentional policy, far more intense, far more focused, far more resourced in 2022, 23? That is the future. That is the prosperity that your party said they want to bring in.
Yes, but let me tell you something.
That is the progress my party want.
Well,
But
yes.
but
you remember I told you about the welders?
Yes, sir.
I told you the story that I was calling welders.
Yeah.
I got an invitation that Canada need welders. And I call and say, we need some welders to send off to Canada. I'm Minister of Labor. We need about 200. You know how many showed up at the ministry? 1,650.
Look at that.
57.
Yes.
I sent down 1,700 forms for them to sign.
Yeah,
you know how many could sign them here?
Few.
370.
Oh, Lord. Shame.
Hold on. What we discovered was that a man who can't read was a fantastic steel operator.
Yes.
Fantastic welder.
So
we are not carrying out the educational, the theory.
Yes.
But I grab the practical.
Yes.
We just have to back it up because you can't go unless you can sign your passport form.
Yeah. So
you can't make extra money anymore.
So when the World Bank and Mr. Orlando Patterson tell us that nearly 50% of our children are leaving primary school and can't read and can't write, can't handle a sentence.
Who you have to blame?
No, but you see, I want to say to those children, hello. Yes, you know why you must take in the schooling. You know why you must bust every rule if you can to make sure you go to school today, this morning, even though bus now run in Christiana or wherever the problem was in St. Thomas yesterday. Okay, because this is what is in front of you. This is what you can make you turn something. This is the opportunity, locally and foreign, to do some. If we really focus our education system and stop some of the ism and schism that we have.
You know the difference between me and you in the early days?
What?
You had buses and trains and what the thing that used to run in Jamaica?
Tram car.
Tram car.
Yeah. What?
We only read about it.
Foot.
You know.
Then bring you to town for look on tram car.
You walk on your heel when you have two buck out toe. When you buck out 2 nails because there's no paved road.
Yes.
Right? That's Brookstone.
Yes.
And you walk on your heel. Yes. You know, say your mother say, boy, you go somewhere, you know.
At 4 minutes before 7 on International Women's Day.
Because you are going on your heel.
Because you're going on your heel is the last word from the Honorable Pearnel Charles on Early Rise this morning. Thanks so much to you, Audley, to Richie, to Romy. Lafayette, get well soon. Thanks to the entire Bridge Nation for your company this morning. A rich program. Make sure you join us tomorrow morning. We'll try it again. And the public eye will be later tomorrow too. We're happy to be with you. Till then, it's Richie B's time. Take care.